Today, I'd like to take a second to talk about what I think is the biggest problem in Marvel Snap currently, as well as what we know from Second Dinner so far in terms of how they plan to address this issue. The problem I'm talking about is one that all of the Marvel Snap players that joined the game on release are just now starting to experience, that they're almost a month into the gameplay, and that is the beginning to mid Pool 3 lull, as I refer to it. And what I mean by this is, for many people, as they're collecting those pool 3 cards, as they get to the deep end, your collection is very hodgepodge in a way that's often kind of unsatisfying. You have Beast and you have Human Torch, but you don't have Falcon. You have Ghost Rider and you have Hellcow, but you don't have Hela. And there's lots of these various packages of cards in Marvel Snap that go this same way. You just constantly feel like you're missing the second part of something or the third part of a trio of cards that would enable you to play a new archetype, and it's a very frustrating experience. The optimal thing to do when you hit pool 3 and are collecting cards for most people is just continue to play the pool 2 complete decks that are competitive, such as Dino Destroy or Kazoo. And that experience is something you've already had for your first 3 weeks to a month of gameplay, and it's not particularly enticing to continue to do that for an undetermined amount of time, because you don't really know when you're going to get that next key card that actually unlocks a new pool 3 archetype for you. Now, thankfully, Second Dinner does know this is a problem, and they are planning to implement a fix for this issue before the end of the year 2022. Let's talk about what their fix is going to be, and that is collector tokens. So collector tokens will be a fourth currency added to Marvel Snap that you will acquire from those caches and reserves that you get off the collection level track above collection level 500. It is notable that when these collector's tokens are added to those chests, they will not be replacing the rewards that are good. So you're still going to have the same chance to get cards, cosmetics, as well as credits and gold. They will instead be reducing the rate at which you get boosters from these chests, which is music to the ears. Getting boosters out of any of those rewards always feels terrible currently. How you will spend these tokens is there will be a new element added to the shop that will rotate every 8 hours. That is a card you do not have that you can spend these tokens that you've acquired to purchase. Now, if a card that you want comes up and you don't currently have the tokens to get it, there's also going to be a pin feature where if the card that you're looking for is there, you can click on it to stop the shop from rotating until such a time that you have the tokens to acquire it. Now, knowing the average card gamer, I know the question many of you are going to ask, and that is, Jeff, does this mean I should be waiting to open my caches and reserves until these tokens are implemented? And the short answer to that is no. We have confirmation from the folks at Second Dinner that the contents of these chests are generated when you hit the collection level, meaning even if you're waiting to open them, the new currency is not going to be contained inside them. So open your chests and get your prizes and new cards and have fun. That being said, there is an asterisk here that you can, in theory, hold credits up to the 5,000 credit limit, waiting to proc that collection level to get those chests off the reserves. If you're someone that wants to fully min-max, it does probably make sense to do that. However, keep in mind that 5,000 credits is only 100 collection levels, which is only approximately 8 of these chests. We also don't know the ratio of tokens in these chests to how many tokens it's going to take to actually buy a card. So if I was you at home who doesn't have a full collection, I would definitely just be spending my credits and upgrading my stuff, because it's probably minimal equity to begin with, and I would want to complete my collection as soon as possible. But I think it's worth laying the numbers out there that we do know for people so you can make your own decision at home. Overall, I'm definitely interested to see how the implementation of these collectors tokens goes, as well as how the community receives it. The devil is definitely in the details that we don't fully know yet. You know, how many tokens are we going to get out of reserves and caches on average, and how many tokens is it going to take to purchase a card? It's also interesting to note that because this new currency is going to be replacing boosters in these, and it helps you acquire new cards, this will also, in theory, accelerate the timeline at which players can complete their collections. So I'm looking forward to redoing doing some math on that, how long it takes to complete your collection once we know the details on this. I'll also like to throw in my closing here a note to anyone from Second Dinner that's watching this, and I think an incredible sign of good faith and positiveness with your community here in Marvel Snap is that when you implement this system, I would heavily encourage you to back grant all players some amount of collector's tokens based on the reserves and caches that they have opened when this system wasn't in place. The boosters that those tokens are replacing for future players are essentially worthless to most of the players that have opened them already, and it would resolve a lot of bitterness, I think, from players that have already opened and progressed a lot if they got something like that as a sign of good faith from you all there. I'd love to know feedback from you all at home. Do you think that this system, if the numbers work out correctly, helps solve the issue with how it feels to play in this early and mid game in Marvel Snap? Let me know in a comment down below. If you're new to the channel and you enjoy Marvel Snap stuff, make sure to subscribe. I post game news, thoughts like this, as well as deck highlights here 7 days a week, and you wouldn't want to miss anything. Hopefully see you back again real soon. Thanks for watching to the end. As always, folks, catch you around.